verse 11. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of desire and passion. In beings am I the desire which is not contrary to law, O Lord of the Bharata Arjuna. In the Gita, Sri Krishna has made testaments that were not only revolutionary during its time, but were also revolutionary for all times. We find one of these testaments in this verse. Sri Krishna is so reformative and so revolutionary that yet Sri Krishna so subtly, after understanding the needs of society, takes society on the path of religion. You cannot bring a person on the path of religion without fulfilling his needs. Sri Krishna first understands the body, the mind and intellect of human beings, and then brings them on the path of religion. There has never been anyone as revolutionary as Sri Krishna in the world. Let us first study this verse. No religious book or religious foundation in the world has made such a bold statement. Sri Krishna in this verse that he is the strength of the strong, that is devoid of desire and passion. Many people have strength. Dimal Nag had strength. King Dilip also had strength. But what use was Dimal Nag's strength? What use was Muhammad Ghazi's strength? He must have had strength, otherwise he would not have been able to come and loot India 17 times. He had this strength, but this strength was not devoid of desire and passion. The strength had desire in, and this strength had passion. But that is why the strength cannot be regarded as God's form. What are the consequences? The world was scared of his strength. If a person has strength from which other people get fear from, then that strength cannot be a form of God. The strength from which the other person feels at peace is a form of the Supreme Soul. A soldier got married to his wife 6 to 8 months ago. The husband and wife were alone on a boat, and suddenly there was a sea storm. The boat started shaking. The wife went mad, and the husband was a soldier, but he was just sitting there peacefully as if nothing was happening. The wife told her husband, "You're not doing anything. Why don't you go and do something? There is such a strong wind in the boat, it's being blown around, and such big waves are coming that are going to drown us. Why don't you do something? There's all these big fish in the sea, and we'll all die and be finished." The soldier sat there peacefully for half an hour, while his wife just kept talking and nagging and panicking. The wife asked the husband why he was not doing anything. The husband pulled out a revolver from his pocket and aimed it at his wife's head. The wife started laughing out loudly. The husband asked her why she was laughing, because he had just pointed a revolver at her that was filled with bullets, and if he pulled the trigger, then she would have been finished. The wife said that she was laughing because the revolver was in her husband's hand, and even though it had bullets in it, the person whose hands the revolver is hers. The wife told her husband that he could never kill her because she knew how much he loved her. This soldier told her, "I know you have love for me, but I have much more love than that for God. Therefore I am calm, because he in whose hands the sea storm is mine. I have love for him, and he has love for me, and I know that." Can you fear this strength? No, because it depends on who has this strength. One can only fear a revolver because of the person holding that revolver. Otherwise, one cannot fear a revolver on its own. In the same way, if we have strength, then how have we used that strength? Have we used that strength to scare the world or to give peace to the world? Sri Krishna is not saying that one should not have strength. One should have strength, and one should become strong. But this strength should be used to give peace to people. If we think a little about strength, then there are many ways, different types of strengths, such as the strength of wealth, the strength of power, the strength of fame, the strength of knowledge, the strength of beauty, etc., etc. One should have all of these strengths. Why should one not have all of these strengths? Strength itself is not bad. It is only by the use of strength that we can tell whether the strength is good or bad. A knife is a good thing until it is used for good purposes, for example, peeling the skin of potatoes. But if it's used to peel the skin of a human, then of course it's a bad thing. Sri Krishna says that the strength that gives faith to the strong, when can strength give one faith? When that strength is devoid of desire and passion. Srimad Adi Shankaracharya has clearly defined kam, or lust or intense desire, and rag, which is passion, in his commentary of the Gita. And it is worth understanding because we often confuse desire and passion. Srimad Adi defines kam, or the lust or desire, as kamaha trishna asamit kushteshu vishush. Kam is the intense desire for what it is absent. So if there is a watch on show at a shop and he has not got it, and if he keeps thinking about this Rolex watch, then this is kam, which is lust or desire, because the watch is not his and therefore it is absent. Srimad Adi has a definition for passion. He says, raga ranjana prabteshu vishteshu. Rag is the passion, affection or attachment for what one has obtained or achieved. This is the difference between lust and passion. The intense desire of that which is absent, which is lust, and the attachment towards what someone has obtained, which is the passion. For the majority of us, our lives are only spent in kam, lust, and rag, passion. All the strengths that we have, for example, intellectual strength, strength of power, strength of beauty, etc., are used for lust and passion. We wish for what is absent and the attachment for one who has. People want to obtain what is absent and want to hold on to what they have obtained. The majority of our strengths are expended on desire and passion. Everybody has strength. It is not as if only wrestlers have strength. We are all very strong. Everybody has strength and power. This is all about strength, and it is quite broadly and loosely defined as our efficiency and our energy. What is our efficiency and our energy used for? If we sit quietly and think about it, you see that all our energy and efficiency is used for lust or passion. In the Srimad Bhagavad, the names of Kamsa's two wives are very nicely given as Asti and Prapti. They were both sisters and Jarasandha's daughters. Asti means I have this much, and Prapti means I will get this much. A person who always thinks like this, i.e. I have this much and I will get this much, I have this much and I will get this much more, becomes either Jaras or Kamsa. In the 16th chapter of the Gita, when Sri Krishna will describe the characteristics of demons, then we will see these there. Idam adya maya labdam imna prapes manorat. Idam astiram api bhavi syati punar dhanam asu maya hata satrur hani sab chapra api. Isvara ham aha bhogi siddho ham suk. This today has been gained by me, this desire I shall attain. This is mine, and this wealth also shall be mine in future. This foe is slain by me, and others also I shall slay. I am the Lord, I am the enjoyer, I am successful, mighty, and happy. This is exactly what demons think like. All these stars come out and meet at two places: lust or intense desire and passion. One must be free from these. This means that your strength is not there to remind you of your incompleteness over and over again. If your strength is used to obtain that which you haven't got, then this means that you are incomplete, and you keep telling yourself that you are incomplete without an object or without a person. Your wisdom, your intellect, your knowledge, your power of understanding, and your awareness, i.e. your consciousness, should not keep reminding you of your incompleteness. What happens with lust or intense desire is that whenever you understand it, it keeps reminding you of what is missing.
which would mean that you are incomplete. Instead of that, if your thoughts and strengths associate you with your completeness and Supreme Soul, and remind you that the Supreme Soul is complete, you also complete Puranma, then that is true strength. One should have this perspective so that the lust or intense desire goes away. If a rose has grown on a bush, then one perspective says that there is a rose, but there are also many, many thorns nearby. This is one perspective. The second perspective says that even amongst those thorns, a rose can bloom. It is the way you look at it. Do you give more importance to the thorns, or do you give importance to the rose? If you give more importance to the thorns, then the rose will become secondary. If you give more importance to the rose, then the thorns will become secondary. Sri Krishna says it is the strength, but only that strength that is devoid of desire and passion. What is calm, desire like? In the second half of this verse, Sri Krishna has made something very clear. In beings am I the desire which is not contrary to law, O Lord of the Bharatas. Sri Krishna says that he is the desire that is within the limits of the karma. In the second line of this verse, Sri Krishna said, devoid of desire and passion. But in the fourth line of this verse, he says, I am the desire. There is a difference in the definition of desire in these two parts of this verse. Sri Krishna says that he is the desire, and as I wrote earlier, this is a very courageous statement by Sri Krishna, and it is a very reformative statement by Lord Krishna. There was always desire residing inside human beings, and Sri Krishna is associating that desire with its relationship with the power to give birth to human progeny. Sri Krishna says that until this power is within the limits of Dharma, then he is that power. All the other religious figures of the world have condemned this power of human beings, or have said that if a person becomes desiring or involved in relations between men and women, then that person goes far away from religion. Sri Krishna says a person does not go far away from religion because he ties these religions, and these relations can be within the boundaries of Dharma. Sri Krishna also says that as long as these relations are within the boundaries of Dharma, then until they are his form, who has created his feelings? The Supreme Soul created these feelings. Therefore, how can something about the Supreme Soul be created so wrong? That is why marriage and getting married is a samskar in Sanatana Dharma. Marriage is not a taboo. Samskar means to make it better, to make it nice, to make it beautiful. Through marriage, we aim to make our lives, our societies, and our families beautiful. And that is why marriage is samskar. Marriage does not throw one's life down the drain. And if the reason for marriage was to throw one's life down the drain, then why would we worship God during marriages? Why would we have so many celebrations during marriages? And why would we have to call everyone during marriages? Marriage is there to make life more beautiful. That is why Sri Krishna says that he is this desire and the resolve for marriage. We must really understand the mantras during marriage ceremonies. So for example, Koda Kansmata Kamoda Kamada Kamihi Prathura. Desire has given this girl to desire, and desire has taken her. Sri Krishna says that this divine desire is his form. We call the writer of the Kama Sutra Vasan Muni. We have named him Muni Vasan. Just like we have Narad Muni and Shandilya Muni, who wrote the Bhakti Sutras, Vasa Muni is at the same level as them. And Vasa Muni wrote the Kama Sutra. Vasa Muni, when we go on to ask who is this Muni, Sankarji defines such a person as Manmat Muni, meaning a person who thinks about any subject. And the Kama Sutra is a scripture. In the beginning of the Kama Sutra scripture, Vasaryan himself clarifies that Asya Shastri Tattva no Bhavatva Jitendri. One who learns and totally understands this scripture will win over his senses. Sri Krishna accepts the discussion of desire at this time. The Kama Sutra is not there to provoke the senses or to invigorate the senses, but to win over one's senses. That is why Vasayan was called a Muni. A person who reads this scripture will not become a Rakish. He will win over his senses. This is because he will understand why they are through understanding. When you go deeply into experience, then you become the master of it. And you can only go deep into something when you stay within limits. If you leave the limits, you will begin to get swept away, and you will not begin to go deep. Desire needs limits. One should not become Rakish. Desire is of two types. We will think about this in detail because Sri Krishna describes this here as his form. First, Kam is biological, and second, Kam is habitual. Guruji says Sri Krishna means sex by Kam. When one is biological and one is habitual, Sri Krishna says that he is biological Kam, which is the sex, but he is not the habitual Kam. Biological Kam, the desire, is creating progeny, and every creature has this mindset. Every creature has this biological desire. It is natural and it is God. But habitual Kam, desire, is not God. Kam for just pleasure is not God. That is why we have Pumsavan Sanskar, choosing whether to conceive a baby boy or a baby girl, and the qualities that the child should have after marriage. It is an aim and a mission to create progeny. One here wishes to decide what their child should be like and what qualities their child should have. The definition of santan or progeny in Sanskrit is samyak tanoti iti santan. One who continues perfection is progeny. Guruji has started activities and a mission in his life that his body is going to fall, if not today, then maybe in a few years' time. When the body falls, then the satkarma, the good deeds that he has begun, should not stop. And that is why he needs progeny, and that can keep continuing these good activities. The progeny can enhance your satkarma. In order to have this attitude, and in order to have progeny, you must first begin satkarma, the good deeds. Once you do this, then the scriptures say that you have the full right to have progeny. There must be some good activity in a person's life that the person thinks that these good activities could continue when his body falls. If a father is smoking a cigarette, then can he have progeny in order that his progeny can also make cigarettes or smoke cigarettes? If the father has not done anything apart from smoke cigarettes, then what can his son do apart from smoke cigarettes? Because his son is santan, and santan enhances the father's activities. This child's father did not show the child any activities that were worth continuing. Vatsyayan writes in the scriptures that the power of Kam is biological, but the expression of Kam is habitual. Power is natural, and one does not need to learn anything for it, but its expression is not natural. This is the difference between humans and animals. For animals, the wish and expression for Kam is natural, but for human beings, the wish for Kam is natural, but their expression for Kam is habitual. It's trained and programmed by their surroundings. The expression for Kam is polished on us. That is the difference between primitiveness and culture. But what happens is that animals can never become perverts, whereas human beings can become perverts. This is because sexual expression gets trained and fixed. Sexual expression arises through habits. When there is a difference between one person's sexual habits and another person's sexual habits, then there is perversion. Both the wish and expression for Kam are natural in animals. Kam is very powerful, and that is why it should be controlled and exercised within the boundaries of Dharma. Guruji often says during his discourses that when an auspicious activity is done during marriage, such as coming prepared with coconuts in one hand, this is called var. Why is it called var? The meaning of the word var in Sanskrit is great. For example, vardhan means great donation. There is difference between sadhudan, a simple donation, and a vardhan, a great donation. Why is vardhan a great donation? This is because the person receiving gets to choose the donation. This is vardhan. Normally when you give donation, then you decide what the donation is and you say, I want to give this to him. This is an ordinary donation. With vardhan, the donator does not decide the donation, and the person receiving the donation tells the donator that he would like, and the donator gives this to him. The choice is with the person receiving the donation. This is vardhan, the great donation. A person once asked Guruji whether a gift voucher can be called a vardhan. He asked whether if you give a gift voucher rather than an object, so the person receiving the gift voucher can choose whatever they wish to buy with the money, then can this be considered vardhan? This is saying, ask what you want, and if it is below 1,000 rupees, then I will give it to you. This is not vardhan, because there are limits to the donation. When God is happy, when someone, then he gives a person a vardhan, and that person gets whatever he wants. The auspicious items that come during weddings are great. Why are they great? Because biologically, every male has a right to every female. If you look at it genetically, then that leaves, if you leave humans, look at all the animals, for example, horses, donkeys, cats, monkeys, etc., you will see that every male has a right to every female. On the other side, every female has a right to every male. There is no family in life in animals. There is no fidelity in animals. When humans become cultured, then they had the phrase, Naham pasu, naham pakshi, aham manushya. We are not animals and we're not birds. We are human beings, and that is why we are different from everyone else. That is why humans removed the right that males had to every female and get this right limited to one female. Humans give away such a big material pleasure. What is marriage? It means that the right of the male to all other females goes away, and the male is limited to one female. What a big surrender, and what a big sacrifice the male and the female have made. This is an incredibly big sacrifice. It is not a small compromise, because he and she have made this compromise, and that is why this is var, great. Guruji often says as a joke that when one understands that he has made this compromise and keeps this understanding throughout his life, then he can be called a Varaja, a great king. When he makes this compromise, then his right to all other females goes away because he has accepted the boundaries of Dharma. That is why he is great. Thinkers have written in scriptures why one should keep calm or sex within the boundaries of Dharma. The reason is that Kam is an extremely strong power. A person can do so much with it. If the power of Kam is directed outwards towards a person or object, then it becomes a material enjoyment, whether it is in males or females. But if the Kam Shakti is directed inwards, then it becomes Yog. You can direct Kam Shakti towards Bhog, material enjoyments, or you can direct it towards Yog, union with the Supreme Soul. As Kam Shakti develops, then it slowly becomes stronger and stronger. Even the Kam of animals has relations with the body. Ahara nidra bhayam mitu nancha, samanya natak pashu brahm. Even a crow has two legs. Even a crow sleeps. Even a crow eats, and even a crow reproduces. Therefore, it is not right to say that someone who has 2 feet is a human being. When Kam only has relations with the body, then this is animalness. But if a person goes slightly above Kam, then it is combined with love. This is the expectation of married life. Married life is not just for Kam, but for love. It is there so the married couple can have a relationship of love between them. And love does not happen just with the body. It is a characteristic of the mind. That is why when a person has fallen in love with her mind, then you cannot give reasons of the body to her. Many people say he does not look like anything special, but this to them is whereas this person he looks very nice. When a person has fallen in love with her mind, then you cannot make her understand and brainwash her using reasons of the body. This is because once love is ignited in the mind, then the body becomes unimportant. There is the famous love story of Layla Majnu in the Sufi stories. People think that Layla was a beautiful woman. This is incorrect. Layla was a very ordinary woman, but Majnu fell in love with her. Layla was the daughter of a rich and famous person, whereas Majnu was the son of a very ordinary person. It was during the olden times, and therefore society was very pretentious. The whole society began talking that this could not happen, as this marriage would not be possible. Layla said that she would only get married to Majnu and nobody else. Majnu also said that he would only get married to Layla and no one else. He was ready to lose his life for her. But even this would not work, because this man was good in all other ways. If he was a thief, a rogue, or an addict, then they could say this. But he was good in all other ways, but they would not allow this. The king of the city was a friend of Layla's father, and the king called Majnu to tell Majnu that Layla is very ordinary and that Majnu should leave her and forget her. The king told Majnu that he would get him married to a woman even more beautiful than Layla, and that this is his promise. The king told Majnu that Layla was not beautiful. At that time, Majnu said only one thing to the king. Raja, Layla ko Majnu ki aankhon se dekho, to sundar dikhogi. Akhtar apni aankhon se Layla ko dekho, sundar ki dekhi. King, look at Layla through Majnu's eyes, and she will look so beautiful. If you look at her with your own eyes, then she will not look beautiful. When one loves another through the mind, then the body becomes unimportant. Only a human being can love. For animals, calm is related to the body. For humans, prem, love, is related to the mind. When this feeling of love is born, then you will go slightly above this. Then bhakti begins. This is because devotion is the dedication of love. Love is with the body, but when an attraction for the bodiness, truth residing in the body begins, then devotion begins. Bodies have changed a lot, but what is the body less truth residing within the body? Bhakti or devotion is a relationship with the soul. Therefore there are three states. Kam or vasana, which is the desire or mental impressions, prem, and bhakti, which is devotion. Bhakti takes one towards godliness and makes human beings into God. This world begins when one loves within the boundaries of Dharma. When can Kam be regarded as within the boundaries of Dharma? The scriptures give a very clear and simple definition of this. Unconscious and unaware Kam and negligent Kam is irreligious and not within the boundaries of Dharma. Conscious and awareness Kam is religious and within the boundaries of Dharma. When Kam arises for a noble and great cause, then it becomes religious. And when Kam arises out of unconsciousness or unawareness, then it is irreligious. Pujyashree's story is very famous. This is unconsciousness. His wife went to her parents' house, and he could not even tolerate this separation for even one night. He went out and searched for her during the heavy rain. There was a river in the way, and he jumped into the river. He began to swim and held on to what he felt like a piece of wood to reach the shore on the other side. When he got to the shore on the other side, then he realized that it was not a piece of wood but a dead body. He reached the house of his wife's parents and went to climb up to reach his wife's room. He climbed what he felt like a rope and realized when he got up there that it was not a rope but a snake. This is unconscious Kam. When his wife told him, "You have so much desire for me and get sorrowful when I am not there. But what if you got so much sorrowful from your separation from Sri Ram?" Tulsidas changed. This very Tulsidas that became a great devotee of Sri Ram and wrote the famous Ramcharitamanas. His calm awakened, but the desire completely changed. Now it was come with consciousness and awareness. Ek bar kaho Tulsidas mera. Just say once that Tulsidas is mine. Before he wished for his wife to say that she was his, but now he wished to hear from the Supreme Soul that he was the Supreme Soul's. This desire became awakened, and Sri Krishna says that this very calm is his form. Therefore, calm should be religious and within the boundaries of Dharma. When awareness comes, then calm becomes religious and within the boundaries of Dharma. A thinker has got a very nice comparison that the Dharma is nectar and calm is poison. This is because calm gives person sorrow, but when calm is in the form of poison, it falls into nectar in the form of Dharma, and that poison becomes nectar. Nectar is like touchstone. If it was the case that if poison falls into nectar, causing that nectar to turn into poison, then that poison would be regarded as powerful. But in reality, it is when calm in the form of poison falls into nectar in the form of Dharma, then that calm becomes purified. Sri Krishna says that in the verse that this purified calm is him. Sri Krishna is calm within the boundaries of religion. This verse from Sri Krishna is an acceptance of life and not a rejection of life. It is an acceptance of life through understanding and awareness. And that, my friends, concludes verse 11.